Hey everybody, welcome back. Grab a snack, grab a drink, sit back, relax. We're gonna play some Morrowind. Today we're gonna be doing some more artifact hunting. I also want to comment on the last video quick here. I thought we had a lot more to do with the Morag Tong. We don't really. Turns out all of the assassination writs you can get from any of the masters. So we basically just did all the writs. If you take a look at our journal, maybe it'll say here somewhere. Not exactly sure, but we're basically done. There's a couple things I want to do first. First off, I want to do the Threads of Mafala quest. I'll have the collection of the sanguine items, because we have to do that first before we become grandmaster, either via killing the grandmaster or by completing his final quest in which he leaves. Both are totally viable. However, if we don't do this quest before that, then we can't do it. And if I'm not mistaken, the reward for I didn't know what the reward for this quest was because I've never done it before. And the reward for the quest is actually a spell, which is not what I was expecting. However, I believe it is the only spell in the game where you can get the Fortify Attack spell, which is pretty cool. So I want to get that because I don't think even in the DLCs you are able to do that. So that's pretty cool. It used to also give, it gave a whole lot of stuff, but one of the other components of the spell used to be Fortify Shortblade, which was the only form of getting Fortify skill in the game, which didn't have to be Shortblade. You could do any Fortify skill with that. But that was removed. That's no longer a part of the spell. So we still have to wait until we go to Tribunal or Blood Moon for Solstheim before we can get Fortify skill as a spell for doing custom enchantments, but oh well. There's a lot we got to get to today, so why don't we just get right onto it? I'm going to do a mix of collecting these sanguine items that we're missing. I did a little bit of checking off camera just to make sure, but I think we have 7 more to get, and I think I know what 7 we need. Hopefully I didn't miscalculate. I might have to do some extra digging off camera just to make sure if I got something wrong. But we're going to go to Balmora first. These sanguine items are pretty spread out all over the place. I believe 4 of the items that we're missing also just come from NPCs that are non-hostile, and there's basically no indication that they have the sanguine item, which is pretty bonkers. There's one thing I wanted to do first, though. Let's come in here to Meldor's shop. Quite a few episodes ago now, we did install a bunch of the official plugins. And one of those allowed adamantium armor to be purchased from a handful of vendors throughout the game. And Meldor here is actually one of them. I want to get his disposition up before we do this, though. Let's give you some money. And then let's take a look. So, as you can see, he's got quite a few. If we compare like these Adamantium Greaves to the Orcish ones, 69, 92. I was initially waiting on getting these because I was thinking, oh, you know, we'll get them when we do Tribunal. But after some more research, I'm trying not to spoil things for myself, but I still want to go in fairly well informed so I don't waste time. And in Tribunal, there's very few pieces of adamantium you can get to craft adamantium armor, meaning we'll actually be like incredibly limited on what we can get our hands on. The most important item is, of course, the helmet, which, as you can see, we can't get here. But we already have the Helm of Tohan from the one of the other plugins. And the only difference is that it has a higher enchant value. Other than that, it's identical to the Adamantium helmet that was added in Tribunal, which Tribunal came out an entire year after the base game, somewhere around there. And the official plugins were released with the game, basically. So the Adamantium helmet, the Helm of Tohan, was actually released almost a full year before you could get the rest of the Adamantium armor. Which is why that plugin was added, so that you could get those as well. So plugins added to add the Adamantium armor before Tribunal came out. That's the basic gist of it. But when we go to Tribunal, as we've discussed in some previous episodes, I plan on swapping up my build, and I'm going to be moving over to light armor. I'm going to fully gear up some glass armor, and we're going to be switching up the build just to vary things up a bit. So in that case, why wait to get the Adamantium armor if I'm not even going to be using it? So I thought, let's go pick up some of this. Obviously, for our bracers, we're using heavy gloves right now, and we're using very good heavy gloves right now. But there's some stuff that I thought about. We are going to pick up the Adamantium pauldrons and bracers, and the greaves and the boots. Won't bother with the chest piece. We have the ebony mail. Miles better. It's not even a comparison. It's only going to cost us 18,000 for the full set. The reason I want to grab these bracers, Adamantium left bracer here, you can see the enchant value is only 10, so we won't be able to do too much with those. However, because they are just bracers and we're using Morrowind code patch, we're actually able to wear gloves with the bracers. And the highest level of gloves you can wear are extravagant. There are no exquisite gloves, as far as I know. And the extravagant gloves have an enchant capacity of 20, which is fairly significant. That gives us an enchant capacity of 30 per hand. Now, I believe Daedric gauntlets are like 60 per hand or 65 per hand, something like that. Which is obviously, like, significantly better, but this is also, like, far lighter. I believe the clothier here in Ald'ruhn sells extravagant gloves. If I can find them. Extravagant... Gloves. You have common. Are there 2 clothiers in Ald'ruhn? Bookseller. Houses. More houses down here. Oh, you know what? Inside the Manor District, there's another clothier. I think that's probably what I'm thinking of. Because right here, yeah. Maybe it's you who I'm thinking of. Yeah, okay. Extravagant left glove has an enchant capacity of 20 and 20. You'll buy both of those. We're not going to set this up today. We're going to have to do some digging around for some extra Golden Saint stuff. But there's a couple pieces we can swap out immediately, like our greaves. We can swap those. Our boots are just the Indoril boots. Oh, the Indoril boots are actually better. I didn't know that the Indoril stuff was better than the Adamantium stuff. You live and you learn. Let's go ahead and put some of this stuff away for now. We'll be swapping over to the full Adamantium maybe for next episode. It'll give us a little bit of time to play around with it. Let's put everything away here for now. And let's get to some exploration and some artifact hunting, shall we? Where do I want to start? Why don't we go Dagon Fell, and then we want to go Telmora, And if we take a look at our map here, let's zoom out to the world map. Zoom in here. There's the Zainab camp. Actually, before we get to the sanguine items, I kind of want to go get bow shadows. So we want to head over to the Venom Ancestral Tomb, which is around that way somewhere. You can probably also tell we are back to using Bitter Mercy. The chameleon stuff was fun to play around with for a bit, but it's a little overkill, not necessary. If there comes a time where I think we'll need the chameleon stuff again, then perhaps we'll go grab it and use it for a bit, but I think it is largely unnecessary. Oh, Golden Saint. Is that an Indoril shield you have there? That is strange. Okay. We want to go north of the Zainab camp. It's somewhere over this way. I think we'll spot it when we come over this way. An egg mine there. Is it like tucked away over there somewhere? It's on like the other side of this. Looking like along the cliff edges, trying to keep my eyes open for it. I'm pretty sure it's fairly close to the Zainab camp. And perhaps, here, it's right here. Perhaps we'll go get both bows today as well. We won't do the quest for Ariel's bow yet, but we may as well, ow, 100. So yeah, we won't be doing the quest for Ariel's bow today, because we'll have to make a trip to Tribunal for that. Which, we'll just do later. Hello. A Drew staff, huh? You have an ebony staff on you. Exquisite. Take all the exquisite. I think that's good. Bow of Shadows. As you can see, 7 to 72. It is a cast when used. This is because in vanilla Morrowind, cast on striking didn't work for bows. Just because of the way bows work, if there was a cast on strike, nothing would happen because you never hit anything with the bow. It doesn't like apply that to the arrow. So if you want an enchantment that deals extra damage on your attacks, you have to go with enchanted arrows, which you couldn't make enchanted arrows in the base game either. Thanks to us using Morrowind Code Patch, we are able to make enchanted arrows. Ooh, that's a decent chunk of money there. However, what I like to do, I mean, I don't use the bow shadows, but I think a constant effect, Fortify Marksman, is a good way to go, I think. So whenever you're using your bow, you have a Fortify Marksman. Anything else interesting around here? You certainly have more stuff around here to find. So I'll have to double check with my maps and see exactly where we have to go. I wrote it out a pathway, but I wasn't very meticulous with it or anything. So let's hop over to my sanguine list here. Go over to UESP. What did we want to get over in this area? Might be faster to just go from Teleroon. Yeah, we'll make the trip from here. We want to go to Indoranyan, which is a Dunmer stronghold that is right here. If I just wandered around for this episode, it would take many hours to get where we're trying to go. I do have to say, I kind of miss the chameleon making enemies not aggro on us. Wow, that poison is lasting a while. There we go. I do definitely miss enemies not aggroing. That was very convenient. The Spear of Bitter Mercy, for as good as it is, has fairly low durability. So when we're killing a lot of enemies, it damages it, which is going to lower our damage for when we're in a fight that we actually care about. I think it's hidden behind that mountain there, that's why we can't see it. Starting to save as well. So yeah, Bow of Shadows. There aren't very many enchanted bows in the game for that reason, because mechanically they just weren't a very useful thing. I think there are some mods that you could get that allow cast-on strike enchantments from your bow to apply to projectiles. They definitely are not available for OpenMW because they all require scripts, which means you need the script extender, because the game's not intended to work that way. So whenever a mod is doing something that the game is not intended to do, it probably won't work on OpenMW. At least not until they have the script extender working, because right now the script extender is working alongside and I believe through MGE, and meaning that an MGE is not compatible with OpenMW because they do very similar things. So because of that, there's not a whole lot of reason to use both, and they're not very compatible with each other. So you can't use Morrowind Script Extender because of that. Well, fine. I was hoping we could be nice, but I guess not. You're just a worshipper. You don't even have a name. That's not very common in Morrowind. Note to Telvon, stay out. This place has some sort of enchantment on it. I only got out because I cast a mark spell here before I went inside. Meet me back in Voss. We'll have to seek out fortune elsewhere. Oh, sick. It, like, teleports you down inside. That's super cool. I don't know if I've ever been in this dungeon, in all honesty. Let's go over to our local map. It, like, going through that door, like, teleports you down into the depths of the dungeon. That's sick. I feel like that's something I could play around with quite a lot in my D&D campaigns, is people thinking they're just dipping their noses into a dungeon or a cave somewhere and then realizing that it's taking them all the way to the bottom of the cave without them knowing. Okay, just another worshipper. So we're not just going to go for sanguine items today. Like I said, I do also want to go... and get some of the Daedric stuff as well. The Daedric quests, that is. Man, I'm getting absolutely spammed on my phone right now. Oh. That's not very nice. It's a good thing that we have 5 constant effect regen, huh? There we go. There's another cave over that way. This looks like this might wrap around, though. Yeah, I don't know this cave at all. I don't know that I've ever been in here before. Like I've mentioned previously, I never did the Morag Tong, and I've never done this quest to collect all the sanguine items. I've seen the sanguine items, but I've never like properly went and collected them all. I've only seen a couple here and there. And honestly, for the longest time, I didn't even know that the sanguine items were special. Ah, okay. I feel like we are like heading in the wrong direction to go deeper, but I guess we'll figure that out. Yeah, I just thought the sanguine items were just like, that was like a random prefix that could spawn on magical items. I didn't know that was something special. I think you're the one, right? Yes. You have the Ring of Sanguine Unseen Wisdom. That was our main reason for coming here. We can just do some looting while we're here now, though. I don't think there's... A lot of these, like Dunmer Strongholds and Daedric Ruins, just don't have any quests tied to them. They're just kind of there. Is this the exit? It appears to be. This will be the propellant chamber. Anything in here? We got the ring that we wanted, but let's actually go back in and see. It looks like there might be some more stuff around here. So let's pop on our beacon band and let's swim around the water for a bit, see if we can see anything hidden. Doesn't look like anything in the water. Like maybe we can get up higher to something, though. There's hunger there. Appears like it's just a dead end. Okay. Let's recall on home then, I think. Let's actually double check real quick just to... Oh god. Map zoomed all the way out. Double check to see if there was anything else around this area that I wanted to grab while I'm thinking about it. I don't think anything down here. Everything we want is a little higher up. So around like the Urshulaku camp area, there's a handful of things that we want to get. Yeah, I believe there's 2 Daedric ruins over here that we want to do. And maybe some other stuff as well. We can actually, you know what, let's, for your guys' sake, why don't we pull this up? And very quickly, let's go in, display capture and show this for you guys. So this is the Uesp Map. Very, very useful map of everything. Has all the locations on it. You can just kind of like zoom into where you want. So we just did Endorian here. I believe we have one down south here somewhere. Right? I think there's one around here that we want to go to. Let's see if one of these names pops out to me that I remember. It might be this one. This whole Mayan monastery. Let's pull up my artifacts here so we can see. We got some of the other things around here that we want to go get as well. So we just picked up Unseen Wisdom, so we can take that one off. Let's see, Ebernana and Asher Nabit Ashp names. So are any of these down here? I could search them up, I suppose, as well. Because I know if we zoom on over here to Balmora, this is one of them here that we want to go to. And then if we come up here to the Urshalaku camp, way up here, Ebernana is right here. That's two of them. And then here's the other one that we were just looking at, right? Yes, so those are the three ones, and then the rest of these are just in, like, public locations. So I guess that means we want to do the one by Balmora first. So let's go to Balmora. We'll throw down a save, and we want to go roughly this way. The reason I want to do a bunch of this stuff, if you're wondering, ahead of time, is because when we become Grandmaster, obviously, like I said, we have to get this done before we do Grandmaster, but there's a bunch of this stuff that the Grandmaster quests have us kill important NPCs, so if we haven't done all of the quests associated with those NPCs, when we do the Grandmaster writs for the Morag Tong, it's going to really mess with them. So we want to make sure, you know, I think it's like around here somewhere. If we haven't done all the quests associated with them, then we'll just be shit out of luck. So I'd like to avoid that if at all possible, right? I'd like to get as much done as we can. That's supposed to be the idea of this playthrough, right? Is to do everything, or as much as possible anyways. Note. Here's your stuff. Sorry, I couldn't stay and chat with you, but it's not always a good idea for me to hang around you, you know? See ya, or no. I think that's skooma pipe, I guess. It's a unique item. This is probably it right here. Starting to get toasty in here. I want to make sure my AC is going. Oh, always like to see another Golden Saint. We picked up an extra thing as well, an extra Grand Soul Gem. Nice. Sometimes they have a Daedric Tower Shield, other times it's a Netch Leather Shield. That's how it goes. We want to pick up a whole bunch more Golden Saint Souls right now because, as you just saw, we have a lot more enchanting to do, which we'll probably do next episode, I think. Oh, wow. Ah, we reflected her paralysis onto her. Very nice. If we see another Golden Saint, we won't actually have Soul Gem to put it in. You are probably who we are looking for. Maybe. No, you're not. You're definitely not who we're looking for, but we'll kill you anyways. And Daedric Spear. Hey, 20k. I'm not gonna complain. Free money is free money, you know? There we are. There's the shoes we were looking for. And some grandmaster tools. That's cool. Wow. Cool. An extra grand soul gem, that's always nice. Okay. We'll throw on a quick save. We absolutely are going to be picking up some cursed items here. Maybe it's just the ebony. And what do we get? Ebony mace. Well, you know, it could have been worse. Could have been better. So we want to now go to this, right beside the Urshalaku camp, I think. And then we also want to go up here to this one. What's going to be faster? Probably Margon is the closest, so we'll go here, and then we'll zip across here. We have 1, 2... what are the other ones that we needed? Let's take a look. So we just got this one here. So these will be the last two, the Golden Wisdom and Silver Wisdom. Those are the last two that are going to be from dungeons. And then the rest of these people are just non-hostiles we can go hunt down. Apparently we killed one of the non-hostiles from something else and got one of those for some reason. Or maybe I'm just missing one and I'm totally wrong, but I guess we'll see. Okay, then let's go to Margon. I think Balmora is probably the fastest way there. And then we'll throw it on a save. Get that jumping going. I'd also mention that we were going to maybe do some leveling up in this episode, so that we had high enough stats to actually get the next rank for the Morag Tong. But I'll wait for that until next one. We'll just go right into getting this stuff done. Margon. Take this bad boy out and then fly. So we want to fly basically in a straight line over everything this way. So, depending on how much time we have after this, because we're only half an hour in, honestly. So I think we'll be able to get all the sanguine items pretty quick. And then I will take a look at doing maybe some of the Daedric quests. Maybe we'll go grab Ariel's bow as well. I think in the preparing for Tribunal episode that we do, the final episode for this series, I think that's when we're going to do the Ariel's bow quest and get that finished off, because we have to go to Tribunal for that. Yeah, I know. Lost my direction. This way. You can see Kogaroon and the other one, Falas Marian. But I think we can just see the ruins through the fog over there. Yep. They're coming into view. Okay, let's do this again and get you dead. Sure, we'll aggro you, so let's just go down here and get you out of the way ahead of time. I keep saying it, but I am definitely going to miss having the range from spears. So convenient. But we're still going to be a magic user through this whole series, primarily. We're just going to swap up the armor and weapons that we're using. Because, I mean, we could very easily just, like, wear full enchanted Daedric and buff up our strength so we have crazy carrying capacity to carry it all no problem, and then wear that insane armor, make us practically unkillable for the rest of the game, and never swap it up. But I think mixing up the builds is going to keep things a little more interesting, at least for me on my end, you know? Just so I won't be doing the same thing over and over again. Regular Jamora, or are you a lord? Oh, you're a lord. Daedric Katana. Are you draining? No. I feel like Hungers have a drain for some reason. What was their name? We're in Ebernonet. We're looking for Talus Veran. They're probably inside, though. Let's throw down a save. Bet it's you, huh? Yep. There we go. Daedric Club. It's not the worst thing we could get. Or maybe it is, actually. It's 10k. No chests. Get another Daedric Lord to be summoned here, though. Ah, you can see this gold, I believe. No? Huh, apparently no cursed item. I figured that would be the cursed item. Usually there is a cursed item in most shrines. I don't see anything else. Okay. That was a quick and easy one. You can see why a lot of these shrines wouldn't have quests tied to them. They're not very large dungeons, you know? So now we want to head, like, directly this way. This way. And we'll have the Blade of Heavens ready just in case we want to do some flying. I use panic save, not because I'm worried about getting jumped and dying, but just because I'm playing modded, and this is a very large save, meaning that it's fairly unstable. So between modded and a very large file size, I'm just mostly worried about crashes. So we have the Urshulaku camp coming up right here. Down in this little valley. And then we can see the Daedric Rune off in the distance. It's one of the reasons I love modded Morrowind. The better sight lines make it much less confusing to explore. With how low the visibility was in the base game, it was just so difficult to find your way around, because you couldn't see land markers. But with the mods, so that you can actually see land markers, it's so much easier to navigate, and I think that helps, like... It just helps with the immersion and the enjoyability of the game, like, significantly, in my opinion. Like, if you couldn't do that, I think this would be a much less enjoyable game. Don't get me wrong, in 2002, when it came out, it was beyond insane just how much the game was and what it was doing, right? But by today's standards, it's no longer bound by those limitations. Stop blocking. She just did not want to stop. See those nick sounds around here. Let's go get you guys. So what, we have four Golden Saint Souls now. Not too bad. This might be one of the shrines that has separate sections. Already been in here. Maybe not. Are you the guy we're looking for? You look like you would be. Yep. Silver Wisdom. Take your glass dagger. Shields, I swear. Ebony sphere, that's fine. I guess we can take it. How about we just like go right ahead and like do that. Cool. Okay. I think that is all of the sanguine items from dungeons now. We just have the handful that are from non-hostile NPCs. Let's go repair a little bit. Maybe more than a little bit. Get this one use used up as well. I really want to repair all of these items because it'll make them sell better to Mudcrab. Browse. That all looks good. You guys know the drill. We will drop everything off in here that is heavy for now, and then we'll come back to the rest of this after. Well, I will come back to sell the rest of the junk after. So, next on our list is... so, we have both of these done, Golden and Silver Wisdom. So now we just have Vex St. Dylan, Gateway Inn in Sadrith Mora, and the Trade House in Cool. So, let's see. Let's go to Cool and get that one first. I think in all of these cases, we can just, like, taunt them into attacking us. Trade House. Which of you was it? Shothera. So this would be you, right? Okay, we'll throw it on a save. How about we go Persuasion and Taunt? 3 taunts. You had Amulet of Sanguine Glib Speech. 2 Master Lockpicks, actually. I'll take the Viper Arrows. Okay. So, next. Sadrith Mora. So, yeah, let's go to Balmora, and then we can... Teleporting via Mage's Guild be faster? Might honestly be faster just to go boat from Dagon Fell down to Telmora and then to Sadrith Mora, but whatever, we'll do it this way. Sadrith Mora. Here. Yeah. Okay, we want to go there. Pick up? Ooh, we got one last jump off before it wore off. Wait, that's not the right place. Gateway Inn in Sadrith Mora. Maybe that's up in the actual, like, town proper? Ah, there it is over there. Okay, yeah, boat definitely would have been faster than whatever. That building. I think. Yeah, I think this is right. Was the North Wing Gateway Inn in Sadrith Mora somewhere? What was their name? It's an orc. Gluronk something or another. Let's check upstairs. There you are. There we are. Belt of Sanguine and Paling Thrust. Fortify Spear, 5 points. Now, if Fortify Spear actually did damage and not just accuracy, that might be more impressive. Okay, now we want to go to Vivek. We almost have all of the Sanguine items. Is this faster? You know, all this time I'm spending thinking about it, it's probably better just to go and start walking. St. Delin, so that'll be the southwest? Yeah, maybe it's the southeast one, actually. Yeah, praise Vivek. Let's go through the south entrance then. Okay. St. Olms, we want St. Delin. I was correct the first time, it was west. And they said it's down in, like, the Canal Works part something or another. So let's just go to the Wasteworks and head down to the Canal Works. Yeah, no, these are houses, right? North 3. Is that right? South 3. Will this be 3 or 1? South 3. Yeah, you're the one. Throw down a save. Okay, taunt. Choose a sanguine leaping. Guess we'll take the glass dagger as well. Got anything worth stealing around here? No. Is everything you own just empty? Except for a bunch of random armor? Very strange, but okay. I believe that's all of the sanguine items now. So how about we pick all of these up. Now, we are going to be putting these back. However, we have to wait until after we kill him and become grandmaster for that. But for now, we'll just hand them to him. So I believe all of these will be enough to give you all of them. Here it is. Here it is. Okay. There it is. There it is. This is a lot. Let's make sure. Okay. Almost there. Okay. There. Here it is. Here it is. Here it is. Did we get the thing? So, here we are. Mafala's skill. Chameleon 50% for 60 seconds on self. Fortify attack 10 points for 60 seconds on self. As you can see, it costs 30, and it has a 100% chance. These are set parameters. If you were to try and create a 50% chameleon for 1 minute and a fortify attack 10 points for 1 minute, this would be a hell of a lot more difficult. And you can see this is primarily an illusion spell as well, and we still have a 100% chance to cast, even though our illusion is 20. So, yeah. Mafala skill. So that's the reward for doing all of the sanguine items. We have collected all of them. I believe now... can we ask you about threads of the Webspinner specifically? No. Special duties? When we are Exalted Master. Okay. Well, we need to get our things up for that. Now that we've done that, that's good. While we're here and thinking about it, I'd mentioned this earlier, the Shrine to Mephala. This is how you get the Ring of the Khajiit, I believe. We have to talk to you and actually ask about... let's see... Let's see. I can ask you about the theater troupe. He's Crashius Curio is quite the patron of the arts. He commissioned some artists to do a mural for him. Oh, help us all. Maybe I can go talk to that guy about that. Let's see. Is it like one of these secrets or advice things? Latest rumors? It's asking about a person. I think it's you we have to ask about this, but I could be wrong. Maybe not? Maybe I have to ask someone else about it? Maybe it's you? Oh, greetings. Perhaps you can be of some use to me. There are some sensitive matters to attend to. I think this is it. The great Daedra Mafala has given me information that must be acted on. If you would be willing to work with me, I'm certain Mafala would be grateful. I'd like to help. Excellent. There's a member of our Brotherhood living in Balmora, Balin Omerel. He has been freelancing, if you will. This is unacceptable, and he must be removed. Unfortunately, his brother is a rather important member of our Brotherhood, so it would be difficult to bring it to the attention of the others. Use this poison in his food. It acts swiftly, as should you. 5 treated bitter green petals have been added. So, let's save. We want to go to Balmora and go poison this guy. We'll get Mafala's Daedric quest done and out of the way. Now, he lives... Where does he live? I have to be careful while we're on this quest, because... if we are spotted near his house for too long, we fail. And Balin, Omer, I think that's it. Next to Caius Casades, looks like. Is that correct? Balin Omero, yes. Okay. I believe if he spots us too close to the door for too long... I've never done this quest before, I just... it was on the list of things when I was looking at the Daedric quests. And, I thought, oh, well, let's go ahead and do that then. Yeah. So we don't want to stand near that for too long. But I believe we can go in here. And... cooking pot? Poison the pot. Yes. Journal's been updated. Let's see if we did this right. I'm gonna refrain from quick saving until I'm sure we did this correctly.
I don't know where to begin. It is such an honor to meet you.
Well done. Mephala wishes to speak to you directly. This is a great honor for you. Approach her altar.
This one honors us.
You have done well, mortal. There are some things that must be done to preserve the order, and it will be amusing for me when this business comes to light. I look forward to it. Take this ring, mortal. Through the brightest day, it will carry you with speed and stealth. Leave me now.
Oh, I still have it on display capture. That's, that makes sense, huh? Let's put window capture back on. So, there's Mafala's quest done. We have the Ring of Khajiit. Cast when used, invisibility 30 seconds and fortify speed. It's one of the Daedric artifacts. It's probably one of the worst ones, honestly, but it's there. Speaking of, though, let's take a look at that artifact list again. We're done with the sanguine items. We got all that done. We just got the Ring of the Khajiit. We got the Bow of Shadows already. So, for artifacts for us to collect, that leaves Ring of Surroundings, which we have to do that before we do the Guildmaster writs. And we'll need to go grab Ariel's bow as well, because we have to get the bow and take it to Tribunal to the museum to get the dialogue option so that we can give the bow to the Telvanni counselor, the crazy one. And then we can do the quest to kill her, because I'd like to do her quest to give her the bow, because doing so is the only way in the vanilla game to get a Daedric Cuirass without killing Devaith Fear. So I would like to do that. It does unfortunately come pre-enchanted, but it is a Daedric Cuirass and the one that you can get without killing Devaith. So I'd like to do that. I think you can get Daedric Cuirass in the expansions, but I guess we'll find that when we find it. So then we just have basically Daedric Lord quests. We have the Mace of Molag Bal, Helm of Orin Barraclaw, Goldbrand, Mehrunes Razor, and then we'll have the Ring of Surroundings as well, which I want to get done. So how about we go do a couple things here? What are we at? We're only at an hour. Man, maybe we can squeeze a lot more into this episode than I thought. We'll go kill this guy quick. There's actually 2 things I want to do at the tower here. Or Ghost Gate, rather. I'd mentioned this quite a few episodes ago in the Imperial Cult. that there is a special quest that we can do. I think it's in the Tower of Dusk, actually. Because we have become the leader of the Imperial cult, I believe that makes this quest available. We are looking for a Nord, who is around here somewhere, I think. Or they should be if I haven't messed things up royally. Lower level, maybe?
Yes, I'll
So,
what do you want?
Ghost Gate is not for the weak.
you're the smith. You sell glass, don't you? You do. We already have all the glass stuff we need. We came here and bought pauldron from you, actually. I think actually one of the people we're looking for is down here as well, though.
May I help you?
A warm welcome. Is there something you need?
Come on. I guess. Ah. So if we do Shift Q, we can swap places.
We are blasted.
I believe it is you who has the Bow of Ariel. So let's do a quick save here. I think we can taunt you. It is not you. So let's reload. So we are not just killing random NPCs. I swore it was him. Let's double check that actually, now that I'm thinking of it. Make absolute sure that he has it. Let's see. It is Raelin Othravel. I thought it was this guy.
May you find me.
I guess he was something else.
Is there something else?
Is there something you need?
Yes, sir.
Is there something
What do
I
you
can
want?
do for you? Go ahead.
Okay. That name sounds familiar. Oh, he's in the Tower of Dawn. That would make sense. Just looked at the quest guide quickly there. Okay. Well, let's go through the temple. Into the Tower of Dawn. And let's look for him here. Is he upstairs around
I
here?
don't know where to begin. It is such an honor.
I wonder if it's that guy. Ah, it's you. Okay. I don't know why I thought it was that guy over there. Well, here we have Ariel's Bow. As you can see, 4 to 90. If you're watching this and you didn't pay attention to some previous episodes, we're using a mod that just came out with the main modathon towards the end of the month here called Accurate Item Tooltips, something along those lines. And that is why the damage is being displayed as that, same as this is 26 to 103. It's because it's actually taking our skills into account for it, our skills and stats. I don't think I want any of the rest of your stuff. I think the Gavel of the Ordinator is a unique item, but I'm not really too concerned with it. So, we have Ariel's Bow now. Let's go rest. We are going to have to take Ariel's Bow to Tribunal. which we are not going to do today. We'll do that in the next episode, which will be the Preparing for Tribunal episode. From the looks of it anyways, we're getting pretty close to being done here. So let's put some of this other stuff away, shall we? For now, let's go put the bow over here with the other bow. This might seem a little strange to you, because if you've played Skyrim, which I'm assuming most of the people who are watching this who have not played Morrowind and are watching it because they want to see, and most of those people have probably played Skyrim, and they've probably done Dawnguard, and have probably seen Ariel's bow, and this is very clearly not the same. Ariel's bow does all sorts of like sun damage and vampire killing stuff, and that's just not what it does in this. It happens to be a very bland item in this, which is actually to its benefit, in my opinion. So that's kind of nice, actually. So we'll put the Ring of Khajiit here with those rings. Is there anything else? We have our ring. Oh, we have the Bow of Shadows we should put over here as well, huh? As weird as this is now, just move some of these arrows out of the way for a moment. And there. Okay, that is all of the unique bows in the base game. That's it. Bow's done. Maybe a little sad, honestly. But that's how it is. There's not many unique bows because an enchanted bow doesn't really do much, as previously stated earlier in the episode. This does have an enchant capacity of 7, though, which I'd have to double check to see exactly how much Fortify Marksman we could get with that, but I have a feeling it would be pretty good. Probably like Fortify Marksman. If it's the same cost as attributes, I'd like to say it's probably around like, I don't know, we could probably get like 50 to 75 Fortify Marksman, which is like fairly significant as a constant effect. So I think that's pretty cool. We have a special skooma pipe. Let's sneak that in with our alchemy stuff, why don't we? Or actually, I have a better idea. Let's go put it up in our bedroom. We'll move this helmet over and rearrange our spear a little bit, and we'll put this skooma pipe right by the bed here. Then we'll put some of this extra jewelry away. Put some of these arrows in here. I don't know where I put the other ones, but that's where we'll put that for now. We have a note to go put in the drawers downstairs. Do a little bit of quick organizing on screen, but most of this I will do off camera between this episode and the next. Okay. Next, we need to train a skill high enough for Morag Tong. To become, we need to get 80, so we need 5 levels in acrobatics. Let's look up real quick who the Master Acrobatics trainer is. Let's see. Acrobatics trainers in the Vivek Arena. Fighters' quarters in the eastern quarter of the arena canton. Okay, looks like there's no special prerequisites. There's a miscellaneous quest we can do to increase our disposition, but other than that, so actually the Morag Tong hideout is going to be exceptionally close here, because it's in the arena. We're on the western side right now. Fighters training. Is this on the eastern side?
So I said, where's the money in that?
Fighters quarters? Fighters quarters in the eastern corridor. Okay. Cool. This is to the Wasteworks.
You seem to be doing all right for
Oh,
yourself.
here you
What
are.
can I do for you?
We'll throw in a save, and let's talk. Oh no, you move around. Let's bribe you a little to get your disposition up higher. And take a look at this, acrobatics. She's not moving around too much, thankfully. There we go. 80 acrobatics. So that should give us enough to become an exalted master in the Morag Tong, I think. Let's see.
I see this land suits you. We welcome you.
Great. We are now exalted master. Do advancement. You have advanced as far as you can without challenging me, the Grand Master. Traditionally, the Grand Master of the Morag Tong is honorably executed by the new Grand Master. You can certainly fight me if you think you can win, but I am not tired. If you allow me to retire peacefully, I will name you the Grand Master. No one will question our word. So, personally, I would really like to just allow him to retire, because I think that's nicer. But also for my collection, I'd like to get the sanguine items back. So we're going to kill him. So be it. That's actually not the only reason either. So he also has these. Black left glove, black right glove. For whatever reason, those are the only ones in the game. Let's take all the sanguine items here. Oh. Have your common shoes back. Okay, that is all of the sanguine items, and we are now the Grand Master. So if we take a look here, we scroll down, Morag Tong, we are Grandmaster. Faction reputation 245. That's because of the threads of the Webspinner. That might be our highest reputation for any guild. Yeah, easily. When we get to Tamriel Rebuilt, I did take a quick look at it. There's no main quest incorporated in it yet, but there are a handful of... Actually, a fairly large chunk of... why is my brain not working today? Faction quests. So, because Port Telvannis and the Telvanni-controlled areas are the most developed, there's a whole bunch of House Telvanni quests. I ain't gonna be doing any of them. However, I think there's a handful of... Maybe there's like one or two Hlalu ones, and we're supposed to be getting the Redoran areas added to the mod fairly soon as well, as far as I know. So that's pretty cool. But when we get there, there are a ton of Fighters Guild quests and Mages Guild quests and Imperial Cult, Imperial Legion. I think there's even like Tribunal Temple quests. There's just like a lot. So the reason we are now here in Balmora is because we're going to start some of the Grandmaster writs. I believe this house back here is the Morag Tong hideout here in Balmora. I think that's just the fastest one for us to get to. Yeah, Morag Tong Guild. So, we can start getting the Grandmaster writs. Don't know if we can... I don't know who the specific NPC we have to talk to is. You offer training. Short Blade and Sneak. How high can you take our Short Blade? I mean, we're here. We might as well, right? Just so that when it comes to
She heard me say that.
the time when we need to use short blades again, because I'm sure it'll come up eventually. There, okay, 50 short blade. That's not too bad. Do you offer training? You do. Fair enough. You offer training. Short blade, light armor, marksman. You offer light armor. Let's get some light armor going as well. Ooh, right. Light armor is one of our primary skills, so we have a level up. Okay, before we do any training in other primary skills, we'll have to go do that. Is it, maybe it's listed under grandmaster writs instead of just writs as well. That could be it. I don't know what's up with these assassins and why they like Ritz crackers so much, but you offer some spells too. You got anything interesting? I don't know that there's... You don't have sanctuary of any kind? Yeah, nothing I really care about. Writ. Due to the troubles in Vardenfell recently, the houses have negotiated several writs. I have writs for General Laurius Varro, Baladas Demenvani, Drambaro, you should recognize both of those names, and Mistress Therina, if you want to take any of these yourself, Grandmaster. I think we can do Baladas. I have a writ for Baladas Demnevani, who may be found in his tower Arsdrelin near Nisus. I have heard that he is quite formidable, Grandmaster, but surely not a match for your skills. Cool. Let's go ahead and not do a recall and do a mark. And change the name on this one to, we'll just call it Morag Tong for now, because we'll be getting rid of it, but this is who we'll come back to for these. Let's actually stop by home quick. And with the power of editing, all of the sanguine items just magically popped out of my inventory right onto the table. Isn't that cool? And that actually took me like almost 10 minutes. Okay, next up, let's go throw this in here. Black gloves. What do I want to do with the black gloves? I still don't know what that's about either. I might look that up. Let's put the black gloves right here. Are these useful in any way? No. Not even remotely. Because they only have an enchant capacity of 1, but this is the only way to get these in the entire game, which I think is pretty dang cool. Let's say before there's all this. So we have all the sanguine items now, all of the Hortator and Nervarine items, other god-related things. Let's actually put the Black Hands dagger over here with these. That makes sense, huh? Maybe we'll put the ebony dagger somewhere else. We'll put some Morag Tong specific stuff here. Then we'll put the ebony dart, like, back here, maybe? Yeah, that seems fine for now. Okay. Baladas. Let's go kill Baladas finally. Nisus. Balmor will be the closest, I think, then to Aldrune and then to Nisus. We've come to see this guy quite a few times. For the main story, as Hortator of Hestelvani, and then also, as a part of the Mages Guild, we needed to go see him.
We make a special trip just
Okay. Right there. They said he is going to be fairly difficult. Something tells me that won't be the case. This way. And then past this and this way, and then up. Once again, for any newcomers who maybe don't know this yet, we do have this on the max difficulty setting, difficulty of 100, so everything's scaled up as hard as it possibly can. So there is that. If we come down here and... Oh, you actually don't have any dialogue options. Oh, he's actually a fairly high level. He has quite a few hit points. Some random loot that I'm not that big of a fan of. Don't really care. Shock Centurion. We'll just leave you there for now, I guess. Before we go hand that writ in, let's actually go rest. Gain our level up here. 48 luck. Then we'll hop back to the Morag Tong here. Writ. Baladas. You've honorably executed Baladas Demnevani. Your work will become Morag Tong legend. Drambarrow is a very secretive man who lives somewhere in Vivek City. Take this writ and show him that he cannot hide from the Morag Tong. You may know where he is, but in case you forgot, he is in the Vivek Foreign Quarter. I believe the Foreign Quarter, in the Haunted Mansion.
Why walk when you can run?
In the plaza at the very top. So let's go kill him. We've come to see this guy quite a few times for different things. We came here very early on because he was the one... to the side to get into the plaza. He was the one who we went to for the quest to get our Daedric Spear, which we used for a few episodes until we got the Spear of Bitter Mercy. You're the smith. Okay, so it's this one. No. Hold on. Am I going crazy? Okay, maybe it's not the Foreign Quarter then. Okay. Which one is it then? Maybe it's in one of the Delin ones? We'll go to the arena. And St. Olms or St. Delin? Well, let's check St. Olms first. The Haunted Manor in this one? This isn't right. I thought it was that one, but Haunted Manor, here it is. Okay. Drambarrow. And if we scroll down, I wonder if there'll be a writ? No, maybe we can talk to him about the Morag Tong. Doesn't look like it. Okay.
Walk with virtue, Outlander. You in
Surrender your life to me and I will end your pain.
The thread of prophecy is severed, yada yada. It's because he's important to the main story, but that is not important for us because we've already completed it.
No worries, I won't hurt you. Ask.
No worries, I won't hurt you. Interesting. Did Dram Barrow have anything I want to steal, maybe? Extravagant, no exquisite. Doesn't look like it. Writs, Drambarrow. Excellent work as always. So there's two more, Laurius Varro and Mistress Thurana. Now, Laurius Varro, we have to do some other stuff first. So I think if we come around here, ask you about latest rumors. Legion champion first try. Laurius Varro over at Moonmoth Legion Fort has sworn an oath to stop corruption. He hasn't had much luck going through official channels. The syndicates have got their people covered, coming and going. He'll never get anywhere working through the system. He's going to have to find someone who can get him around the system. Or through the system. Like, straight and hard through the system. I was told that Legion champion Laurius Varro over at Fort Moonmoth has sworn an oath to stop corruption, but the syndicates have got their people protected. To fulfill his oath, it seems like Varro may have to work outside the system. So, we want to head to Fort Moonmoth. Let's hop over to Balmora. I know we were in Balmora, but it's slightly faster. So, we'll go talk to Laurius Varro over here at Moonmoth. And I believe he's going to ask us to wipe out the Kamana Tong, which we will gladly do. Screw the Kamana Tong. Bunch of slavers, smugglers, racists. You know, criminal syndicate stuff. You can tell when I look away to take a drink, because that's when I run into rocks. Legion 4 Interior. Is it you? Nope. Won't be you. Won't be you. Laurius Varro.
You seem like
There you are. I feel like we've come to see this guy before. Various channels have learned a bit about your situation. I'd like to tell you a little story, and when I'm done, you can ask me some questions, and then, maybe, you might decide to go out and do some things. You might, and you might not. That's your affair, and I also want to tell you about a nice present I think the Emperor wants you to have. I'm not sure what it is, but maybe you'll want to check back and see if I found it. Later, after you've done some things. Once upon a time, there was a bad magistrate who took gold from criminal organizations to reduce the sentences and fines of criminals. Everybody knew he was doing this, but nobody could prove it, because even if it could be proved, the bad magistrate had important friends, and proof is not as powerful as important friends. At the same time, there was a good officer who enforced the law because he thought laws made people happy and safe. And it bothered the good officer that enforcing the laws did no good, because the bad magistrate let the criminals go as quick as the officer caught them. For a long time, the good officer sighed and said, "What can I do? Because the bad magistrate has important friends, and nothing I can do will touch him." But then the good officer said, "Say, wait a minute, what about the bad people who are bribing the bad magistrate? They haven't got important friends, and if they aren't around, then the bad magistrate can't get any more bribes." And even better, the good officer suspected that the bad people who were bribing the bad magistrate were probably criminals themselves. So the good officer decided that it would be good if the bad people who were bribing the bad magistrate should go away. Forever. So that good officer made a little special prayer that there would be a little bloodbath to wash the bad people away. There. Isn't that a nice little story? Maybe not a perfect story because it ends with a prayer and not a bloodbath, but maybe the story isn't over yet. The bad people in my story are 5 members of the Kamana Tong. I know they are a scout, a pawnbroker, a savant, a thief, and a smith, and that they are in Balmora. Unfortunately, I don't know their names, but maybe you could find their names, and where to find them. And then maybe my story could have a happy ending with a little bloodbath instead of a little prayer. I love this quest, by the way. Oh, the bad people are the Kamana Tong. I thought everybody knew that. They are a criminal organization. Unfortunately, I don't know who the Kamana Tong are. No one will tell me because I'm an officer, and it is against the code to tell officers things. But people in the Thieves Guild hate Kamana Tong. I bet if you asked the Thieves Guild, they would cheerfully tell you who the bad people are and where to find them. Was there anything else I need to click on? Nice present. What is the nice present from the Emperor? I am sure I don't know. I think it is supposed to be a surprise. And as I said, I'm not sure where it is, but I might find it anytime, so check back and see if I found it later, after you've done some work. I love this so much. I think this is, I think that's hilarious. The writing for this quest, they had some fun for sure. We have 1 mark left. We'll place it so that we can come back here quick. We'll have to come back and kill this guy for the Morag Tong, which is kind of hilarious, but Balmora. Music's getting very... There you go. So I already know that they're in their club, but we're going to go head over to the Thieves Guild and see if they can tell us who the Kamana Tong members are. They'll give us some, like, actual names. I think we can just kill, like, everyone in the club, and then at that point, we're fine. Bad people. If the bad people you're looking for are Kamana Tong and they're in Balmora, you'll find them at the Council Club Corner Club. That's the local Kamana Tong hangout. The scout would be Vadusa Sathrian, Marasa Arin would be the pawnbroker. The thief would be Madrail, Thurith, Silver Trandel is the savant. Fanalen Velas would be the smith. Fair enough. Throw down a save. And we'll head over to their corner club. I don't know if the people on the roof are. I know some people choose in vanilla to use this as a home base after they've killed these guys. Will I? I don't know about that one.
This fight is over.
Well, let's see. How much bounty do we have? 5,000? No problem. Permitted. That's strange. Maybe it's permitted because of our rank in the Fighters Guild. That could be it. Now, anything stolen is going to get taken from us. I think this is all of them. Theorith, Rasa Aren, Medusa Sathrian, Vanor Saran. I don't think all of these people are. Okay, Scout would be Medusa Sathrian. Medusa Sathrian. Boom. Marasa Aren, yep, would be the pawnbroker. The thief would be Madral Theorith, yep. Savor Trandel, the savant. Thanalin Velas would be the smith. So this guy here, Vanor, he's yeah. He's not a member, I don't think. We have Savor Trandel and then Thanalin Velas. Smith. Do we have enough to get home? We do. So, I don't know exactly what on me is stolen. But I guess we're gonna find out. Probably a little bit of money. I don't know that anything else is. Let's save just to be sure. Let's go rest quick. Then we'll head back to Balmora and talk to a guard. Clear up our bounty. You can see them running from a mile away. Hey. Well, that's not very nice. I guess because it's over 5,000. I know I could have taunted them into attacking me and then I wouldn't have had the same problems, but... okay. Let's see, if you want to get rid of a bounty... Let's head to the Morag Tong quick, maybe. I think only the Thieves Guild can help with bounty. Yeah. How do we want to go about this? Give me 1 second. Okay, yeah. So the only way to get rid of a bounty that high is to go to a Thieves Guild member and get them to pay it off. So we're just gonna have to, like, run through to the Thieves Guild and see if we can pay off the bounty that way. So once you're over 5,000, then you get a death warrant, so... Price on your head. There are a few people who can make it go away in Balmora. Talk to Fane Riel. Okay.
What is it? So much to remember.
Price on your head. Okay, as you're a Thieves Guild member in good standing, I should be able to fix that for 2,520 gold. Thanks. Take care of everything. So now we have no bounty. We're good. Okay. We'll head back to here. I see everything's been taken care of. And, remarkably enough, without creating any problems of a legal nature. Well, kinda. You are far more discreet than I had hoped. I'm so glad I found that nice present from the Emperor. Here, it seems to be a ring, a very nice ring. There was no note with it, I'm afraid, but I'll let the Emperor know you received it. I'm sure he'll be pleased, and also from me, because of your exceptional discretion, take this special volume from my own library with my compliments. So we get the Ring of Surroundings and Biography of the Wolf Queen. Cool, Speechcraft level. And we get the Ring of Surrounding, which is cast when used Chameleon. Not that big of a deal, but whatever. It's one more artifact to check off the list. And if we go here, writs. Laurius Varro. With the recent troubles, we have had many writs issued. The more challenging I have saved for you, Grandmaster. This one is for Laurius Varro in Fort Moonmoth near Balmora. So, Laurius Varro. They want to kill him for the exact reason why I just helped him. And I don't think... Yeah, I don't think there's anything else other than just taunting him. Draw your weapon. No bounty. It was temporarily in draining our endurance. Absorb strength and endurance. It's not an artifact, but it is a unique item. Okay. Morag Tong. Then writ. Laurius Varro. Boom, 4,000 gold. I'm curious, what is our faction reputation? 260. Yeah. So things are looking pretty good for the Morag Tong. We are like getting fairly low on things to do. We're only an hour and 40 minutes in the episode, and there's 4 Daedric quests to do. We have 1 Morag Tong writ to do, but we can't do that one quite yet, as I said earlier. We'll wait to do that final writ once we do that quest. So we have 1 more artifact ring put down here, Ring of Surroundings. There we are. We have a whole bunch of garbage. Let's go put this sword up with the other unique weapons that aren't worth displaying. Right on in there. We'll throw down a save. So, okay, we got 2 episodes left in this series. Wow, we are almost done, guys. So that was the rest of the Kamana Tong and some more artifact hunting. The next one is going to be probably a little shorter because it's going to be just those 4 Daedric quests. And maybe if I feel like it, if we have enough time, if we blaze through it really quick, if I feel like it, I may also go for Elton Brand, since I am sure there are people who are going to say, you should have gone for Elton Brand. Why didn't you do Elton Brand? It's better. So depending on how much time we have, if I feel up to it, maybe we'll do Elton Brand as well. If you don't know what that is, stick around for the next episode and I'll explain it. But that is going to do it for this one, guys. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, leave a like and consider subscribing. I'll catch you on the next one. Take care.